Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 107, the first book of Samuel, chapter 15. If you enjoy this podcast, consider supporting us at patreon.com/BFW. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
Every time I look at the episode number, I think, 107 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We are moving right along.
We are.
Okay. Anything exciting today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the episodes in the Bible that everyone should know about. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. More killing, probably.
Yeah, it's more killing. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it then.
Okay, chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel said to Saul, God made you king. Obey him. This is what he says. I remember what Amalek did to Israel.
What did Amalek do to Israel?
Yeah. Well, you may have forgotten, but God hasn't.
Oh, he has a long memory.
He has a long memory, very long, because this happened back in the book of Exodus.
Oh,
during
yes.
the Exodus.
I do remember now.
The Amalekites are a wandering tribe that lived in the area, but kind of south of that land of Canaan is. And they were crossing through their land, and so they were not... the
Israelites were not welcome to walk through the
That's
Amalekites'
right.
land.
And so God had Moses fight them.
Okay.
And that was this thing where if he held his hand up, I mean, the Israelites defeated the Amalekites, and if his hand went down, Moses' hand, then the Amalekites defeated
Started
the
winning.
Israelites. Yeah, that's right. And that was probably 400 years ago. It was back in episode 31, so it's been a while.
That's
but
right.
God still remembers. And so now he says, I remember what Amalek did to Israel. Now go and kill the Amalekites. Kill them all. Men, women, infants, babies, oxen, sheep, camels, and donkeys.
I think that about covers everybody.
Yeah. He left the insects out.
Yes. Birds.
Yeah, I think, maybe invertebrates are okay, but all the vertebrates are pretty much going to have to die.
Okay. So verse 4. So Saul sent 210,000 soldiers to kill the Amalekites.
Yeah, that ought to do it.
That ought to get one or two.
And they killed them all, except for the king, Agag, and some of the more valuable animals.
Oh, so God ordered Saul to kill everybody, and Saul did not kill everybody.
He did not, although he almost did. They killed everyone except for the king, whose name was Agag, and they kept some of the animals.
So verse 10, God said to Samuel, I regret making Saul king since he disobeyed my commandment.
And Samuel cried to God all night.
The next day, when Samuel and Saul met, Saul said, So I did what God commanded me to do.
Samuel replied, Oh, really? Then why do I hear sheep bleating and oxen lowing?
So Saul said, Well, we kept the best sheep and oxen to sacrifice to God. We killed everything else.
Samuel said, God commanded you to utterly destroy the Amalekites. Why didn't you obey him? Because you rejected the word of God, God rejects you as king.
So Samuel doesn't complain that you didn't kill the king.
Yeah, but I think that's implied there.
Yes.
In killing all of the Amalekites. He left one guy alive.
Mm-hmm. As Samuel turned to go away, he tore his skirt and said to Saul, God has torn his kingdom from you today and has given it to someone better than you. That's a weird thing to say because he hasn't chosen who's going to be better than him.
No, he hasn't given it to someone else yet, but that's the language that he uses. And also the tearing of the skirt, right?
Yeah, usually they tear, what's the word?
They usually rend their clothes.
Rend their clothes.
Tear their clothes. Mm-hmm. So he did that. He tore some of his skirt off. And I guess it was to make a point that God's going to tear the kingdom away from you, just like my skirt which just got torn like that. I think that's what happened, or else maybe when he was leaving, Saul
said,
kind of
no,
grabbed
no.
onto him, and his skirt got torn, and now God's going to tear the kingdom away from Saul and give it to someone else. They act like he already has given it to someone else. But
Yep.
but that hasn't happened.
I don't think so. So, verse 32. Then Samuel said, "Bring Agag to me."
Agag said to Samuel, "Surely the bitterness of death has passed."
I don't understand what that means.
Oh, I think he's saying, hey, we had enough killing here.
Oh, yeah. I agree. So Samuel said, "As the sword has made women childless, so your mother will be childless."
And Samuel hacked Agag in pieces in front of God.
Oh, my goodness. That is just not a nice story.
No, it's not.
So I guess God is probably happy now.
Well, yeah, there's nothing in this whole episode that indicates, everything says that God wanted everyone to be killed, all the people and all the animals to be killed. No exceptions.
Mm-mm.
And so he was very upset when that didn't happen. And now Samuel just hacked him to death in front of God. And yeah, must have made God happy, I guess, or at least it wasn't so angry anymore.
Yeah.
But he was still angry at Saul because
Yeah.
he didn't do it.
Yeah. So, boy, if I were Saul, I'd be hiding in a corner somewhere thinking, God isn't just going to, is God just going to replace Saul, or is he going to do something bad to Saul as well?
Well, the next verse says, the last verse here says that this is Samuel, never saw Saul again. And God repented that he had made Saul king.
Mm.
So God kind of changed his mind about Saul. He said, yeah, he's the guy.
He's a good guy. I want him to be king.
I want him to be king. But then when he didn't follow this commandment, I think he was also angry with him once before and said he was going to lose his kingdom over that. Remember that?
Yes, I do. But I don't remember what it is that Saul had done wrong.
Well, he was supposed to wait for 7 days.
Oh, until Samuel came back.
Samuel was going to do the animal sacrifices. Well, Samuel was late. And Saul had to go fight Philistines. And he needed to sacrifice some animals to get a good start on that.
To please God, so God would be on his side.
Yeah, exactly. And so he just went ahead and did it. And so Saul said, okay, you're going to lose your kingdom because of it. So it's another time that he's going to lose his kingdom, but it sounds like he really means it this time.
Yes. Yeah.
And we'll find out
in the next episode.
Yeah, who is going to replace Saul as king.
Ah. Am I going to have to remember all the kings in order as we move through this?
I don't No, you won't. I don't think anybody can remember that. It gets really confusing later on in the book of Kings.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. How come we're talking about kings here, but I guess it just is overflowing the king story.
Yeah.
There are too many.
Actually, in some Bibles, like the Catholic Bibles, the Dewey Rheims Bible, doesn't have a 1st and 2nd Samuel.
Oh.
It has a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Kings.
Really?
Yeah. So 1st and 2nd Samuel are called 1st and 2nd Kings, and then it's the 3rd and 4th Kings is 1st and 2nd Kings.
Okay, so the Samuel thing is Samuel's a prophet.
Yeah.
And kings are getting named. That's the beginning of kings.
Right. But we're going to have a lot of kings, and it's going to become very confusing because we're also going to have 2 different kingdoms to keep track of.
Oh.
Judah and Israel.
Oh my gosh.
And there's going to be kings, and they're sometimes named the same name at about the same time. Yeah. We're going to need our whiteboard for that.
Okay. I'll get it ready. Okay, well, thanks for sharing this with me, Steve.
Sure.
Do we know what's going to happen next time?
Well, I haven't said what's going to happen except for that.
You haven't said who?
We're going to find out who the new king is.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.